Welcome back to EGL12 here in Sheffield at the Ponds Forge Arena. I'm here with TCM Gunshy. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad, thanks.
Good. We've just watched Infused take out Denial there. That's put the 5th seed out in top 12. What's your opinion on that game?
I don't know. I think it's a fair result. I think Denial were really disappointed. I think they're really evenly matched. I think Infused have been really weird so far. They've been smashing a team 1 minute, and then the other team will smash them back, and then they'll smash it. It's like constant, like they're just countering each other basically.
Do you think they're really based on momentum because of the team changes recently? They've obviously had Jake join, with Peter joining you.
I think there's a lot of hunger there from them. Definitely, they want to prove a point. More than anything,
yeah. So, and setting up behind us at the moment, we've got Epsilon Rain, so that's obviously the first seed, and Rain have been absolutely flying of late. You saw him place third. Obviously, you lost them on the second day at I-Series. What's your opinion on Rain as a team?
They're actually really good. I actually rate all of them. They're just really sweaty. That's the best word to put it. They know what they're doing, to be honest.
Yeah.
They play a really different play style. Like domination, when they get a 2-cap, they'll camp. They won't keep pushing you. If we're 2-capping them, they'll just constantly go for your back flag, and then blitz. They'll have 3 sitting back, and then 1 always playing sneak.
Right.
That doesn't work. That's why they're not good at blitz. But on S&D, they just played a load of GBs, and they're really good at that.
Yeah. Is it like their unorthodox playstyle that makes them a bit dangerous for a team like yourself?
Like, people just don't expect them to come out like that, and they're a really hungry team. If you watch them, they're really motivated. They want to win, which is good to see.
Can you see them upsetting Epsilon on the main stage now, win the semi-final?
I can't see it happening, but judging from my series, they had really close games, insanely close games. So
yeah, we were discussing earlier actually. It seems like S&D seems to be their strong point.
Yeah.
You said their blitz game is not the greatest, so if they can they win the dom, they've got a great chance there.
Yeah.
Talking about Epsilon, they've come in probably seeded. They're seeded number 1. A lot of people see them as your favourite. Do you think that's a fair justification after the?
If we won 4 tournaments in a row, they'd still be favourites. Simple as that.
Why is that?
Because they're an easy team for fan base to attract to. Easy.
Is it because they're kind of like an EU god squad in that kind of way? You know, they've got talented players at every position.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter if you've got a god squad. I've been in plenty myself.
Yeah. It's
all about chemistry and people getting on with each other, and no one getting their ego bigger than anyone else, kind of thing.
So, like you said, you've been in previous ones before. What reason was it like? Say the Prophecy won that I-Series, you won that I-Series event, and then from then on it didn't really work. What was the problem there?
Tommy won, innit?
You, Tommy, Nick, and Swanee.
It was a good team. It was just at the time people had loads of other stuff going on. Like Tommy wasn't as dedicated as he is now.
Yeah.
And obviously we had things like an MLG tournament coming up.
Yeah.
And he was like, I can't go. So we're like, well, we want a team with you, but you're going to have to go then, aren't you? If you can't come to MLG, okay. Simple as that.
That seems fair enough. Talking about MLG, we're talking about EU versus US. You've obviously competed at Columbus recently. You went to the World Champs. How far, do you think there's a big skill gap between EU and US, or do you think it's just, there's talk about brackets being unfortunate and stuff like that. Are we close?
We are close, but it's a simple fact of composure. EU teams lack composure. In America, there's multiple teams that can close out games. They know how to close out games. That's all it is. You can match them with gun skill and how to play the game. It's just closing out a game. They just come out on top most of the time.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you probably an obvious question, but who do you think the best US team is? Now, obviously, Complexity would probably be your pick, but they lost last night. Was it 3-2 to a fairly unknown squad? But are they still miles above everyone else?
It's hard for them. They've just won Call Champs. They won 100,000. Go to a UMG event. It's like, it's hard to get as motivated as you would do. But I think as soon as there's something big on the line, they'll be back up there in the grand final straight away.
Do you find that a problem for yourself? Obviously, Champs is such a hugely motivating thing. I spoke to people who don't qualify, and they seem to think that the season's basically over once they don't go. Do you think Champs has that effect on the season? It kind of kills it for a little bit afterwards.
What, for teams that don't qualify?
Yeah, well, in general, once you've done Champs, there's no it seems like
it's
the motivation must be a bit lower to go to these events where it's not £100,000.
Yeah,
dollars each.
Tournaments like this, it's impossible for them to match.
Of course, yeah.
Something like this. But no, it's just the fact that you go to Champs, you think that this is a life-changing possible moment.
Yeah.
And to come back from that and you play at a tournament where it's not life changing, it's
There's got to be some kind of come down. That's what I mean. Like
Yeah,
motivation, it must be really hard to motivate yourself sometimes.
There's a lot of the time where every time I go to America and come back, it's so hard to like get in the zone. That's all it is. Just you struggle to get in the zone when you come to a less event.
Yeah. Now you're one of the older statesmen in the scene in a way. What is it about you that you think's made you like? Because a lot of the other players who you played with even like don't play anymore. There's a couple of like people who've been around for a long time. But what is it about yourself you reckon like, it's kept you at the top for pretty much the entirety of your career?
This is just. I guess I just hunger. Like literally, I've always wanted to keep playing. I've always been in a position where, like, I've been able to keep playing. Like a lot of other people that have quit have had other more important things to do.
Yeah. Unfortunately
enough, I've just always had time to play games. Basically,
got enough time to dedicate to it. Now we'll talk more about your team at this event. You've got, like I mentioned earlier, Petey's joined. Yeah. How has that been gelling with a new team for an event? And how has he slotted in replacing Flux, who's, like I've mentioned before in other interviews, is quite an unorthodox player?
I think a few people are saying that we're not going to be as strong because Pete's not a objective kind of do the dirty work for your team, but like, you can still make it work, definitely. We picked them up. It's only been 4 days since we've been a team, and the first 2 nights we were so unorganised. I even said to a few people that I'm a little bit unconfident, but then we literally, last 2 nights before we came to the slam, like we dropped like one map and literally we were just getting the confidence in.
In a weird way, it's almost like his playstyle complements you because like people will say he's quite reckless, and I think you as a team can be quite rigid. Did you think like that is playing into how well you're playing at all, or?
Yeah, like his gun skill is insane. Like I think he's a player that if we get him hyped, he can even excel even better. He can play even better. He can challenge some stupid stuff, but sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't.
So you've got Vitality. Have you been able to watch them much at this tournament at all?
Vitality? I watched them last night actually against, I can't remember who Orbit, was it?
So just over here?
Yeah, last night it was. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Every time we play a game, we expect a strong game, definitely. I'd still say they're probably third best team in Europe. They got good teamwork, but it's not as good as ours in Epsilons. But yeah, we're really confident with that game matchup.
On that note, you said like you think they're top 3 in Europe. Do you think France? Obviously, they won EGL2. Since then, they've not come back and won a European event, or an EGL event for a while. Do you still think they're right at the top of the scene, the French? Obviously, they're well known for having massive support.
They have insane support. I wish that we had support like that. I wish I could go to one of their events as well. I've never been to a French event, but no, I think Vitality is the only team that really you have to look out for. But I don't, like I said, I've never been there, so I don't actually know the strength of the French community. Apart from ESWC, where I saw an insane crowd, like it was crazy. Yeah,
some of the pictures from that were absolutely mental. I think we're going to be hopping over to the caster's desk, where Sims has an interview with Infused Watson. So thanks very much.
Thank you.